Hello everyone and welcome to FreeCAD tutorials. In this tutorial, we explain how to use the Additive Loft tool in FreeCAD. To explain how to use this tool, we will recreate this 3D geometry. This is a door handle. And this part over here, that is the handle, is created by using the Additive Loft tool. Okay, let's start with our design. Once you open FreeCAD, click on File and click on New over here. Then click on Model, then click on Part Design and click on Create Body. Make sure that Body section is selected. The first step is to create the base. To create the base, we need to create a sketch. Consequently, click on Create Sketch, select XY plane and click on OK. Next, let's turn on the grid by clicking here, then click on this arrow, Expand, and set the grid spacing to 5. Press Enter. Then expand this part over here, make sure that Snap to Grid and Snap to Object is selected, and let's continue further. Let's create a rectangle. Click here and click on Centered Rectangle and place the rectangle at 0, 0. And then over here, let's sketch a rectangle. Let's go with 200 to be the length, press Tab, and over here, set 40 to be width, and press Enter. In this way, we have automatically constrained our section. Do the right mouse click, click on Close, and let's extrude this. Make sure that Sketch is selected, and then click on Pad to extrude this, and let's extrude this for 10. Click OK. For the time being, we will keep this base as it is, and later on we will add fillets and we will add holes once we complete the loft. The next step is to assign a sketch to this top face. To do that, select the top face and then click here on Sketch, and the sketch will automatically be assigned to this top face. Let's turn on the grid by clicking here, click here, and let's set the grid auto spacing to be 5. So let's enter 5 here and make sure that Snap to Grid and Snap to Object is selected. Over here, we will start our loft by creating the base. The first base will be a simple slot. That is, it will consist of this part over here. So click here and let's create a loft or slot to better. So first of all, let's place it over here and later on we will adjust its dimensions. So let's do this. And then let's do this. Here it is. And then let's do the right mouse click. Next, we will constrain its dimensions. To constrain these dimensions, first of all, click on this point, then press and hold Control key and click on this point, and then over here, click on Constrain Vertical Distance. And let's go with the vertical distance to be 20. And now you have this problem. If you encounter this problem, Control Z and repeat this. So again, here, here, and then do here and constrain vertical distance and enter 20 over here. Good. Next, we will adjust the width of this object. That is the distance between these 2 points. So let's click here, control this point, then click here and click on constrain horizontal distance, and let's go over here with 10. And here it is. Now we have 2 additional degrees of freedom to adjust. Namely, if you try to move this slot, you will see that it can move in this 2D plane, and we don't want to do that. First of all, let's constrain the distance from this point to this point over here. So let's click here, and then let's click here again, and then let's do here, and then let's do constrain horizontal distance. And here, let's set the distance to be 70. And press Enter. Then we have 1 degree of freedom, namely we can move this or translate vertically. To constrain that, click on this point, press and hold Control, click on this point, and over here click on Constrain Vertical Distance and set to 0. And now this will be fully constrained. Good. This is the base of our 3D loft. Next, let's close the sketch. The next step is to create a datum plane. The datum plane is a construction plane that will enable us to construct the second part, or basically the second cross section of our loft. To create the datum plane, you need to click over here. And then the plane will be automatically created. However, we need to adjust the orientation of this plane and click on Objects YZ. This will place the datum plane like this. That is, the datum plane will slice the base. And let's press OK. Next, let's assign a sketch to this datum plane. You can simply click on datum plane and click over here on sketch, and you will see that the sketch will be assigned to the datum plane. Click on close to verify that this is the case. Namely, if you double click here, you should go inside of the sketch. And let's once more go to the original sketch to check the dimensions. We can see over here that the distance from this point to this point is 20. This means that the diameter of this circle is 20. So let's click on close. Let's go back to the sketch and let's create a circle over here whose diameter is 20. Simply click here and click on create circle by center, and let's place the circle, for example, over here. And then let's specify its diameter to be 20. And finally, do the right click and let's constrain this dimension from here to here. If you want to see how the things looks in 3D, click on close and you will see how everything looks. The loft will actually go, that is, this additive loft will go from here and it will go until here, and then it will continue to go here. You will see that later on. So I will go back to the sketch and I will constrain this distance to be, let me just press on the center of the circle and press here. And then let's click here and constrain vertical distance, and let's keep this as 60. And let's click on OK. Good. Let's close and let's see what we have. Perfect. As mentioned previously, the loft will start from here, then it will go through this cross section and it will end here. To create the end of the loft, we need to create another sketch. For that purpose, again, select this top plane and click here. And over here, we will create another slot. To create the slot, let's repeat the procedure again. Click here, place the slot somewhere here, and let's do it like this. And then let's expand it, and later on we will adjust its dimensions. Do the right click and let's see. First of all, let's constrain the vertical distance. So click here and click here. And then we need to click here and let's click on constrain distance and let this be 20. Good. Next, let's see the distances over here. The distance from this point to this point, we need to see that. Click on close, go back to the sketch 001 and let's see. So this distance is 10 and the distance from here to here is 70. So we need to replicate that. So let's click on close, let's go back to sketch 003, and the distance from this point, by selecting this point and doing control, pressing control and clicking on this point and clicking here, can be set to 10 like this. And then finally, from here to here, it should be 75. To do that, simply click here, and then press and hold control, click here, then click here, and click on constrain horizontal distance, and this should be 75. And click OK. Good. Now this looks quite symmetric. Or actually, let's verify this. Let's click on close. Let's go back here. This distance is actually 70. So I made an error. So I will click here, I will double click here, and then I will double click here, and I will fix it to 70. Not a big deal. Click OK, and that's it. Click on close. Now we are ready to create the loft. As mentioned previously, the loft will start from here, then it will go through this cross section, and it will end here. When creating lofts, it really matters the order of selecting certain planes or certain cross sections. So if you want your loft to start from here, first click on sketch 001, then press and hold control and click on the next cross section, that is this cross section, and then finally click here. After you do that, simply click on this option over here, and here you are. Here it is. Looks beautiful. Now, let me show you one thing. If you want to have loft that looks like this, which is in my case not very pretty, you can click the ruled surface. However, I'm not going to do that, and I will keep it as it is. And if you press OK, here it is. Here is your loft. Looks really, really nice. After creating the loft, let's create the holes. For that purpose, rotate this object, click on this back plane, and click on here to assign the sketch to this back plane. Then click here on grid to activate the grid, and over here expand this section and set the grid spacing to 5. Then let's start creating the circles. To create the circles, click here, click on create circle by center, and place the circle over here. Then do the same thing over here. And then do the right click and let's adjust the radius and the dimensions of this circle. First of all, let's set the length, click here, or the length of the distance of the center from this line, and then press and hold Control and click here. Then click here and constrain horizontal distance. Let's set 90 here. Let's repeat this for this center. Click on this center, click here, then over here, click and constrain horizontal distance and specify 90 over here. Good. Next, let's constrain the radius. To do that, simply click here, click on dimension, click here, and let's set the radius to be 10, as well as here. Click here, and let's set the radius to be 10, and click on OK. Do the right click, close, and now we can create holes. To create the holes, simply click here, and then over here, you need to click on Create Hole. And this will create holes. Now rotate this cross section, or better to say, rotate the object to see how the holes will be reflected on the other side. And you can increase this diameter as you wish. You can, for example, go with 10. And click on OK. Good. Now we have holes, and let's improve this sketch by adding fillets. To do that, simply click here, and let's start adding fillets. First of all, click on this edge, click on this edge, then let's click on this edge over here, then let's rotate, click on this edge, then let's add fillets to these corner edges, over here, here, let's click here, then let's rotate, click here, and then let's specify the radius. Let's go with, for example, 3 or something similar. And let's click on OK, and we are almost done. Next, let's add fillets over here to these edges. So let's click on fillet. Let's click on this edge over here, and we can click on this edge, and let's look how the fillets will look like. They look perfect. And let's do the same thing over here. Let's click OK and repeat this for the other side. Click here on fillet. Let's click here. Then let's rotate. And let's click here. And let's click here. And let's add fillets of 2. And click OK. And that's it. This is our design. Looks really nice. Okay, that's all for today. And see you in the next video tutorial.